So my Pilot has a pretty big storage area. It's actually one of the pretty nifty features of this particular model. It has a third row that just, folds up. For those who aren't aware, it works pretty well. We're able to fit our 3 car seats across the back if we want, and that way we can have 3 adults in the middle bench. Of course, that brings us up to a capacity of 8 people in this vehicle, which is awesome. But what I've basically been able to do is store a whole lot of gear into the back here so that it's really not in the way of the seats. We have a rubber liner that we use, which has been really awesome. As you can see, my back area still has gotten dirty over the years from using it. But I think I'm going to start with this tire, the jack area. What I basically did was I cut out some of the plastic. Honestly, I did it a while ago, and I'm not sure exactly what it looked like before. I can see I cut it here. I assume there was just a lot more plastic in here, and by cutting it, I was able to store quite a bit of stuff back in here in kind of a hidden storage location. So we'll kind of go through some of the stuff that I keep in here and talk about it. So you do have to be kind of careful. Stuff could potentially fall down into the lower portions of this area and kind of get lost. Let's see what I got back here. All right, so it's not a whole lot of stuff that I've got stored back in here. But you can see, there's a good bit of stuff, storage areas. You do kind of have to be careful with wiring and stuff, that you don't get anything hung up in there. But right now I'm storing some power steering fluid, some automatic transmission fluid, got my jack. These are 2 spacer blocks that I use with this jack to make sure that I can get enough height when I'm using this jack to get my oversized wheels up. And then I store 2 chalk blocks in here, which whenever you're using a jack of any kind, it's good to have your wheels chalked. This allows me to chalk it when I need to. Just getting some of these additional pieces in here, I think was worth cutting out the plastic area. As you'll see in just a moment, the recessed area, I was able to cut out plastic from there and really store a lot of stuff in this storage area. So I'm just gonna take a moment, put this stuff back away. I'll be right back. All right, so here we are back in the back of my Honda Pilot, and I guess we'll just start with some of the areas that are logical storage areas that I haven't really made any mods to. I was able to get this ratchet strap to just kind of fit in this little nook here. It's an interesting little space. It's kind of hard to find stuff to fit there, but by keeping this ratchet strap open, it kind of holds it in there. It stays. I've got my fishing rod, tackle box, and pliers right here. It's been great having those. Catch all kinds of fish at random moments. And this storage container, it's kind of a bigger one, and I haven't always had my chain here, but it really does fit in here well. And so I've got my chain here. I think I don't know exactly how long it is. I got a long section here. I don't know, it's probably under 15 foot long, but this one has a double-ended sides with the hooks that kind of hook on and allow you to cinch it any length. These 2 pieces hook on to my high lift jack, and they allow me to use my high lift jack as a winch. If you look online, you'll find all kinds of instructions for how to do that. These connections are kind of how I made up, or a method that I made up for doing it. This one wraps around the kind of foot of the jack, and most of the tension gets, you know, put against here. But both of these storage areas are pretty well utilized by these devices here. Next we'll get to the awesome spot. So this is where I've been able to store most of my gear. I've got a bungee hooked onto this strap right here that works pretty well for keeping this open. We'll kind of go from right to left. So I've got two 20-foot 3-inch wide toe straps. Pretty strong straps. I forget exactly what they're rated to, but let me see. Rated to well over what my vehicle is rated for. I've got a hammock, which is useful. I've got an ultralight tarp, which is, I believe it's a 10 by 20 tarp. Again, very useful. And I've got a hatchet. Sorry, this is definitely an axe. We've got a little sledgehammer, hitch recovery point, WD-40, useful for the high lift, lockable hitch pin, 2-inch ball. We've got the Via Air, what is this model? I forget. It's the 88P. It hooks onto the battery, which I like, so you aren't blowing your cigarette outlet fuses left and right. It's got plenty of length on all the cables and hoses to reach anywhere on your car. Pretty powerful. Not the fastest in the world, but a pretty good value. It's been working well for me. In this bag, I've got a bunch of, I've got a synthetic tow or winch rope. I've got a bunch of different shackles and hooks. Basically, the different little puzzle pieces you need when you start trying to get yourself out of a hole. Of course, you want to make sure that, you know, everything you buy is rated to be strong enough for your application. So that's good. That's 50 foot of rope in there. I've got a shovel, pretty big shovel, which I store in 2 pieces. Useful for digging yourself out of a hole. I've got a funnel for the transmission fluid that I store in this spot. I have had in the past some transmission leaks. I don't have any leaks right now, but it's always good to be able to top off your transmission fluid. And here I've got a heavy duty tire patching kit. It came in a nice fancy red box, but for the sake of space, I've condensed it down. Heavy duty metal tools. Comes with the plugs and the different lubricant needed to patch your tire. And then I think you guys remember the video where I got stuck in the mud. I tried to hammer this rebar into the ground thinking it would work as some sort of a ground anchor. It did not work. I was not able to get it deep enough in the ground, but I still keep it in here. Don't really know when it'll come in use again. This is a little extension I use for my socket set, which is stored underneath the passenger seat up there. But this just allows you to get more leverage if you need it. This is the lift mate for my high lift jack. It allows me to lift my vehicle up by its wheels. It's useful on a car like this because I don't have any real hard points to hook a high lift jack onto. So this just hooks onto here, allows you to lift it up. Then you can put your jack stand or whatnot underneath the different jack points on the vehicle. Or you can lift it up with this and put stuff underneath the wheels if you're stuck, if you're high centered. Could be useful. Got a hacksaw here, many uses. Good for cutting through stuff. Got a machete here, again cutting through stuff. And then we have the Tecton 4-ton hand winch here, which I kind of use paired with the high lift jack. I have a mini air compressor just as a backup / convenient air compressor for airing up my my airbags for the rear of my car, my lift bags. And here I've got to kind of knock off tire deflator, as well as different valves, different pieces in case you know, in case I need to make a repair on my airbags or my airlift or anything like that. And as we're getting to the bottom here, last but not least, I've got some paracord. But as you can see, I was able to cut out the bottom of this plastic area. Underneath here, there would be an area where I was also able to cut. And what it frees up a good portion of space on these sides. Of course, you need to be careful with the yellow connectors. Those are airbag related, I believe. But by doing this, I was able to fit a good bit more stuff in here than what I could from the beginning. As you can see, it's kind of hard to imagine that all that fits in the back here, but it does. And with all that being said, I've been really pleased with the amount of storage capacity and with this amount of recovery gear. It's pretty impressive to be able to store it all below deck so it's not in your way. All right, while we're talking about the storage of the back, I may as well kind of talk about the Smittybilt Defender roof rack that I've got on here, roof basket. It's got spots for 4 pod lights on the front and 2 on the back. It was pretty easy to hook an awning onto it with some L brackets. And on this side, when I bought it, it already had them, but whoever put this thing together had these bolts through here with these custom spacers. Anyways, it's kind of a DIY way to hook your high lift jack onto here. It's really sturdy. It's been working really well. Up on top, I've got the all-weather tactical box made by, how can I forget who it's made by? Plano, I believe. And then I've got a folding table from Walmart. It's got, it's just cheap plastic. It tends to fill up with water. It rusts. It's fallen off the roof once it's fallen off the roof once when I forgot to actually cinch it down. So it's got duct tape corner here. But it's been doing the job for really cheap. I think it's less than 30 bucks. And then I've got 2 sets of X-Bowl recovery traction mats, which I bought and haven't needed since. I haven't needed them since we got stuck in the mud that one time and got recovered by my dad. But I have them locked on with cables. I realize cables, you know, they're not the most secure, but they're better than nothing. And what's really cool, at least for us and our family of 5, is that I've been able to get 5 folding chairs to fit into this Plano all-weather tactical box. So it's got 2 of the ultra compact kind of adult folding chairs, and then it's got 3 children's size dyno chairs in there. But it's pretty cool because everywhere we go, we have 5 chairs and a table with us. So if we find ourselves, you know, over at family's house or anywhere where there's not enough chairs for us, we've got some chairs we can pull in, and as well as a table. And it also has us set up really well. You know, we can do a picnic pretty much anywhere. So we've really been liking the setup. And you know, the Pilot's not the best, you know, car for going and doing rock crawling and all that, but it handles you know, just exploring roads and stuff really well. And it's got a surprising amount of ability for, you know, an full independent suspension. Anyways, it's been a lot of fun riding around in it, that's for sure. And I guess we'll see you next time on our next adventure. Over and out.